Hello everyone, welcome back to the Strawberry Lily channel. Happy New Year. I know it's been a hot minute since I've been on here. I have gone through, in these past few weeks, what can only be described as trial by fire, and I want to go more in depth about that, like my Dubai trip and everything that's been going on with me, in a live stream, probably on my members only page. Which, by the way, if you are one of my paid members, I just want to say how sincerely sorry I am for leaving you guys hanging. I promised you a video like before the end of the year, but ish kind of hit the fan. Before I knew it, I had to go fly to Dubai, and then I literally got sick to the point where I lost my entire voice for a week. In addition to that, a full body fever as well for the latter half of my trip. So you can even still hear it in my voice a little bit. I think it's a little bit like husky and hoarse. I'm not sick anymore. I'm totally recovered at this point. But yeah, now that I'm finally recording again and hearing my voice out loud for the first time in a while, I realize that, I don't know, it's still not 100% back, but I do feel well enough to get back in the swing of things. 2025, this is a year of the snake, okay? We are not coming to play this year, not when it comes to makeup or any of my other. So if you're not familiar with Chinese zodiac, year of the snake is the year I was born, 1989. I'm trying to collect every single snake plushie item toy that I see out here in these streets. But yeah, we are not coming to play this year, okay? 2025 is for the Slytherins and the Serpents. I don't care what anyone says. If there ever was a year that was designated solely for us, I mean, every year is our year, but I'm just saying, there is no other way for 2025 to go down except for epically, because it's already written in the stars, okay, in the ancient books and whatnot. So without further ado though, I am going to get ready really quickly for, I was gonna say errands, but it's a date. So while I was in Dubai, I basically brought just these two blushes with me. This is a Tamagotchi packaging cream blush, and then this is the new Canmake, relatively new, Powder Cheeks A in P01, and I use this quite a lot just because this is a kind of a universally flattering color and it's easy to work with powder. Plus I like the shimmer in this powder, but I'm impressed that the heart imprint is still very visible. So since eyeshadow seems to be out of style these days, I find it the oddest thing, but not really, I guess. In a way, I feel like it takes a little bit pressure off of me every time I do makeup from now on, because I'm like, oh, it's not that different to what Asian makeup trends have been pushing this whole time anyway. So I'm going to focus heavy on the blush today and overlap it onto the outer half of my eyelids. I think I might throw some color on the top lid, but the focus, as per usual, will be on my under eye bags, tear bag area. See how this blush gives you like a nice shiny dewy effect? Sometimes you don't want that, sometimes you want a completely matte blush or something, but I like how I just want to go for like a subtle, soft, natural glow for my date. I feel I can only achieve this level of pigmentation though if I use a densely packed brush like this. So I don't really opt for the brush that it came with unless I have nothing else on hand. Okay, so now I'm going to go straight into my under eye makeup, and I'm gonna use the newest release in Canmake's Plumpuku Coordinate Eyes eyeshadow palette series. This is a palette that is, so the Plumpuku Coordinate Eye series is made to be used specifically on your tear bag area, and I feel like it's legendary at this point. So this is in the shade N01. The N stands for Neo, and the shade is called Shiratama Plumpuku, beige with strong white undertones. So basically this is the most emphatic. The tones in this colorway are the brightest and give the most emphasis to your eyes out of all the other shades that they released so far for this line. At least that's the claim here, but I'm sure that it will live up to the description. Actually, I'm gonna first take this slightly peachy beige shade on the right here, and I'm going to sweep that all over my top lid just to give like a little bit of sparkle and evenness to the lids. I'm gonna switch to a brush that will give me more coverage. And then gonna dot a little bit of the chunky glitter shade on the top here in the center of my lids. Ooh, yeah, that's reflective. And then for the tear bag, I typically always split up the creation of the tear bag into the first line that I draw, like right underneath my lash line. I use one of the Canmake Creamy Touch liners. This one is in shade 15, Cappuccino Pink. I just prefer like the permanency and the staying power of a cream gel liner for this line in particular. And then later on, I will create the lower line with this Plumpuku Coordinate Eyes brown powder. Okay, so I took a little break. As you can tell, I changed my shirt because this is sexier. Look, I even have, look at my whole outfit. I have like this cheap little garter belt thing. It's literally just a string. I saw it on Shein. I thought it was like crisscrossed, you know, it came solidified in that design, but it's a string, so a little disappointed about that, but you can't really complain for the price. Yeah, I don't come to play on date night. Okay, so anyway, where were we? For the second line of the tear bag, what I like to do is, I don't like to use their angle brush that comes with. It is very sharp. It's an angle brush, but if you flip it like this, you'll see it's actually kind of thick. So I prefer to use this razor thin one that I got off of Shein, and I'm just gonna dip into this milk tea color. And time again, you know, time and time again, no matter how many, hold on, let me do this first. No matter how many tear bag under eye liners that I try, you know, there's a lot of C Beauty brands coming out with like the tiny micro light liquid tear bag liners as well. But time and time again, every time I come back to this Plumpuku Coordinate Eyes palette, I discover that indeed this product is what gives me the most natural looking tear bag line. Like in real life. I mean, you can use anything for your tear bag, right? You can use a straight up gel liner intended for the you know, the lash line. And I think if you're like very familiar with Douyin makeup, you would know that that typically tends to look really good in pictures, but it looks kind of scary and uncanny valley, shall we say, in person. But the shade in this Canmake palette, all of the different colorways that they have, it really nails that perfect natural shadow effect. Okay, so now all that is left is eyeliner and eyelashes and lipstick. So recently a Don Quixote has opened up in my neighborhood of Chofu, Tokyo, and it has been ruining my life because I basically find myself sleepwalking to there every single night at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and it's just draining my wallet and I'm powerless to its pull. I always walk out of there with at least 3 items. And oftentimes that includes eyelashes from this new line by Mish Blooming, which I'm obsessed with these lashes. They are definitely my new favorite. So they have a bunch of designs and I really like quite a few of them. I feel like a lot of them are really suited for that Douyin, you know, C Beauty look. Why is my camera not focusing? They have a bunch of designs, and to be honest with you, the majority of them really work well with my eyes, my eye shape, and I feel like, yeah, up until this point, this is probably my favorite eyelash line that has ever come out, even more so than Dollywink. I mean, Dollywink is really good too, but these are like, they have a lot of styles that fit the Douyin makeup looks that I like to do, and the amazing thing about these is that, I don't know how they did it, but somehow, every single time that I use one of these, the glue, the ends of the lashes, like the glue will never ever lift on me when I'm using these lashes. And it happens like from time to time with, for example, the cheaper lashes that I get off of Shein, which are good, but I'm always like extra careful when I apply the glue to the edge of the lashes because, you know, I have kind of like a half fold situation going on, so sometimes what the hell is going on with my lighting and the focus? Okay, so yeah, sometimes especially the inner part of the lash tends to lift up no matter how carefully I applied it there. Somehow, some way, whatever material or curve design that they used for these lashes, it stays glued tightly to my lash line up until like the very edges of the lash. And yeah, that kind of blew my mind because up until now I always thought that that had to be like a limitation of the eyelash glue that I was using, but turns out the eyelash itself makes a difference. Like whatever plastic this is made out of, or actually I think like the flexibility of the band also, it's very flexible, but it's also like firm enough to hold the shape. So yeah, these are perfection. Oh, and I'm using the Pure Long style today. So the only drawback about these is that they are slightly expensive. I think it's like 500 yen per pair, just for one pair, but it's so worth it. All right, before I forget, let me throw on some eyeliner. This liner is so old. It's a brown one from N01. Yeah, that's practically dried up. Okay, and while we let that dry, I can't forget, we actually have to put on some shine onto the actual tear bag. So I'm gonna put this down and then layer on top with the white. You know what, I'm just gonna use my brush. I'm not a sponge girly. I never have been, never will be. Okay, I couldn't resist. I put a little bit of the chunky glitter everywhere pretty much because it's nighttime after all. We want to sparkle in the evening, don't we, ladies? Okay, for lips, I'm using this DB lip liner as always. I've been using this ever since the day that Judy gave it to me on her visit to Tokyo last time. I think it's a New Zealand brand. That's why I never heard of it before. Damn, makeup takes so long. Okay, and I think I'm tempted to just leave it like this, but actually I'll dab a little bit of this Flower Nose Matte Lippy C04 Cupid from the Little Angels collection. I'm not gonna swipe, I'm just gonna dab where the color needs to be filled in. Oh my god, I just got mascara into my hair. Alright, and this is the final look. What do we think? I think the eyes are very like champagne pop, you know? It's like no eyeshadow almost, but glitter basically. Okay, so I actually have to run now because dinner reservation's at 7. I will link everything I used down in the description box as usual. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye!